What's up,
Yo,
everybody?
what's going on?
What up, what up?
Yeah, that's another one.
Another episode of Marriage from Scratch. This is episode 7,
Seven.
and
Episode 7.
we are 2 away from ending season 1.
Yeah. Yeah, after this one, we'll be 2 away. And this will be the end of season 1. And this has been a journey. Like, when we started this 7th episode, I don't mean to be funny when I say this, but did you ever watch Seven Heather growing up? I did
So,
not like that
we
show
are.
because it made.
Nope, we ain't doing it this episode.
We can't go there.
No.
We can talk about Luther Vandross. All right, what's up, everybody? This is Marriage from Scratch, and I'm your co-host, Lewis C. Wembley, joined by...
Who told you to start the intro all over again?
You start the intro over like a DJ, like a Ricka, you know?
You know, like I got a vein right here when I get frustrated. He finna make that vein pop right out.
Hit my hand.
Louis, I'm gonna karate chop your hand. Keep playing with me. Anyways, we are in
Yeah, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. I play a lot, y'all. This is my love language is irritation.
very much so.
If I don't get on your nerves or say something crazy to you or text you something random, I don't love you. I don't mean to say it like that, but I do.
Anyways,
But
this is episode 7. We are going to talk about parenting.
yeah, fast track from marriage to parenting, and it happened fast for us.
Okay, it didn't take the Lord long.
It didn't take him long to work. So y'all that sit in these 3-hour services, leave.
What?
I'm
What
sorry.
they got to do with anything?
Did they come out nowhere? Okay, anyway, we got married and we went right from married to kids. So it don't take God long to work is what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that.
Oh, I get it. It's funny now. I get it now.
It don't take God long to work. You sitting there have 5-hour service talking so he ain't came yet. Leave. He ain't coming.
In both ways. Anyway, so you guys know we like to start the episode off with the truth is, and you go first.
Okay. My truth is, my truth is, I am horrified of roller coasters. I am afraid of heights. Now, not heights in God, my mind, but heights that require me to go way up there and then get on this little tight little compartment machine and flip me and turn me upside down like I'm a piece of meat. Nope, you're not gonna treat me like that.
First of all, it's so annoying because I love roller coasters. I love roller coasters. I love scary movies. I love all of that, and I can't do it with him over
Yes,
here.
you can. Stop saying what...
Said, him downstairs. Him over here.
Yes, you can. Don't say what you can't do. We can do all things. We're together.
That is not what that scripture meant, first of all.
Okay.
Second of all, no, we can't because you don't like to get on roller coasters. But I mean, I either got to get on with a friend or go by myself, which I don't mind either. But I would like to go with Beanhead.
I got traumatized as a child, and I just never looked back. And let me tell you something. I'm not ashamed. So, my truth is, I'm not a roller coaster person. And now I'll get on water rides though.
What the girl said?
Barely.
Barely.
But like Six Flags and stuff like that, that's not my thing. That's my truth is. Now I'm still fun when I go. I'm gonna act like I'm getting on the rides. I'm like Cedric the Entertainer in that one scene in Barbershop when the Black Panther showed up, and we gonna bring our guns.
Go, yeah.
And when they shoot us, we gonna all die. That's me. We going up that line.
No, pitiful.
So, all right, what's your truth is? You got one?
I know the Bible say be ye also ready, but I was not ready. I have nothing. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me like a topic or something.
Okay, your truth is pertaining to movies.
Okay.
or your truth is pertaining to um, 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 movies, music, or food.
I did food
You
already.
did food already? Okay.
Yeah. I guess I can do music. Truth is,
Something you like.
uh, truth is, Cardi B is my alter ego.
That's something I wouldn't be too proud of, but okay.
I love Cardi B.
I do too. I love Cardi B. I think she's a great lady. I think she's a great lady. I think she has a.
How you make her sound like somebody's old grandma? She's a great lady.
I think she's dope in what she does.
All right, now that we got truth is out the way, now we are going to get into this topic. It's
Yeah.
about parenting
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
and how we, as newly couples, had to really understand quickly how to go from husband and wife to mom and dad.
Right, right.
Yeah, so
You mean couples everywhere? How newly couples have to go through that.
right, but
Right.
like starting off with our story.
Oh, right, yeah,
How
definitely.
we have to like instantly,
Yeah.
just like we said earlier, it ain't take God long.
It didn't take him long to work.
It didn't. So we got married August 24th.
Yep.
Literally a few weeks later, I was pregnant after that.
I think it's funny because when you started showing symptoms, remember that when you were singing on stage.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, okay, I'll give y'all the quick backstory. We was at the church where we used to reside, where the money reside. well, we used to go to the church. We
Our
used
old
to go
church,
to,
right.
right. And I was on the stage and I was singing. It was doing praise and worship, and I was singing, and all of a sudden,
I remember that.
I got like this big old heat stroke. Well, I felt like I was
Right.
about to just pass out, like out of nowhere. So I'm standing there and I'm singing. I got the mic, and I get this heat, and I look over to my best friend, and I was like, "I'm about to fall," and she was like,
Right.
"Like what?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm about to fall," and then we finished singing, and as soon as we finished, I took off running.
Yep. You did. Yep.
I took off when I was so lightheaded. I was hot.
Yep.
I took off running, and then I ran to the bathroom and puked my guts out.
Yep. And I remember coming up to you afterwards. Do you remember this?
Yes. No, we were in the bathroom. So my best friend and
I think it was
Brandy.
at the
Yeah,
time,
shout out to Brandy. Brandy, she came in. They came in the bathroom and they were like, "Chanel, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. You know, I just got a little lightheaded." And then Brandy was the one that brought it up to me. She was like, "Are you pregnant?" I was like, "Nah, I don't think so." She was like, "When was your last period?" I was like, "Maybe like a month ago. I'm not sure."
I remember this, and I walked up. And when I came out to check on you in between like the sets or whatever, I think Aaron was like clapping and Randy was
Right,
clapping.
so
And like,
yeah,
"Yay, congrats!"
yeah.
And I'm like, "What do we congratulate?" And he was like, "It was like she pregnant." I'm like, "No, she just cooked some old tacos."
So let me tell
And
well, Paul. MOG over here thought just because on the label it said, like, okay, so anybody that know how to cook knows that once you buy ground beef, you could put it in the freezer and it will last beyond the expiration date.
I didn't know that.
Home Shamon is what mama be saying. Shamon over here. He thought that just
I
because the
did.
day said the expiration,
Oh, that's in the garbage.
he thought we had bad taco meat.
So I'm like, no.
So no, she had some tacos.
She
earlier,
just cooked
and it
that
was some
taco
bad
meat. It was
meat.
old. Like it was like a week old. It's like 7 days old. Like, no, that's the tacos. She gonna be okay. She gonna take a Pepto Bismol. She gonna be okay.
No, and then my best friend goes, "Well, Luz, did you eat some of those tacos?" Luz go, "Yeah."
Yeah, I had 3.
He said, "Is anything wrong with you?" I was like,
No,
"No."
I'm fine.
She was like, "Well, you know it's not the tacos."
And so we went to the clinic,
Hmm.
and I remember that we went to the clinic, and then
No, I took the
you took
test
the
first.
test, and
And
the
it
test,
said,
yep, the test said yes, but
hmm,
my mind said that's a Dollar General test. That's a
and I
lie.
got it from Dollar
It's
General.
Dollar General, non-name brand. That ain't nothing
And at
but the.
first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, so I was like, I kept, I kept squinting like this.
I'm
Is
like,
that
no,
true?
we not about, no, we going to the clinic. Cause we went to the clinic and found out she was pregnant, and then we found out when we went to the clinic, we found out you were what, 4 weeks pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So when you trace it, it literally was the week after we got married.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally went from being married for only 2.5 to 3 weeks to being parents 9 months later,
Yep.
and that was a journey.
It really was.
That was a journey. That was something that I'll be honest. I don't think I knew I was ready because I was just more mature growing up, but mentally I wasn't ready for the change and all that stuff that that came with being both a husband and a father
Right.
and working and having jobs and all this stuff at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I really wasn't. I mentally wasn't there yet. Um, so
But
yeah,
when you do get pregnant that fast, or when you do start building a family that fast, it is a mental shift that you have to
yeah,
progressively take. Like,
yes, yes,
instantly take.
yes, yes.
Like most marriages, sometimes people wait, whether you on birth
Right.
control or the other stuff. Sorry. It usually, give you a little time
Right,
to be just you all,
right,
and which will lead up to, oh, okay, I think now.
yeah,
But when you have it right away, which is nothing is wrong with it.
yeah. There's
I
nothing
don't
wrong
think
with that.
anything is wrong with it. Let me tell y'all something. Cause I'm being a mother now, and I'm about to get my belt out, and I'm about to whoop y'all. Because I'm sick of y'all.
Y'all still listen though. Keep listening. Don't unsubscribe. Keep going though.
Okay, no, for real. One thing we should not do is tell married people, don't have no kids too young. Don't start over.
Let me say
That-
something. Let me say something in defense to that. Let me say something. Let me say something.
No,
let
because
me rebuttal that.
here's
Go
the
ahead.
thing. Here's the thing. So people were saying that to me,
That's right.
and I was already pregnant.
Right.
At the time, we didn't know,
Right.
but I was already pregnant. So imagine how I felt once I found out I was.
Right.
Then you have those long conversations in your head, like, oh no, I shouldn't.
Right. Right.
Like, you do not want
Now, from
that
that perspective,
stress.
I agree. Yeah.
And I was talking about from the
Yeah.
perspective of the mother, like
Right.
being,
Right.
being the carrier. Of course, we're both in this together, but being the carrier of the child, you don't want that stress and that, because ultimately it can make you feel, it make you feel like you're doing the wrong thing.
Right. Right. Right.
And it's not doing the wrong thing. First of all, we were married.
Right. Right.
Okay, point blank period. We were married.
Right. Right.
And then I had a baby. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that do it the opposite way, but
This is how we did it.
exactly.
Right.
So, just
Yeah.
watch what y'all say
I
to the
agree.
new couples.
I agree. I agree. I think from a male perspective, when men say that to men, now we about to open up a can. Do you think it's different from when a man says it to a man versus when a woman says it to a woman?
I don't know.
I think it's different. I think when a man says to a man, "Hey, bro, try to hold off from having kids at the very beginning. Get to know your wife, get to know your spouse, enjoy yourself just for a little bit. Because when you have kids, you won't be able to travel and move as fast and move when you want." When a man said, I don't know, maybe I don't want to sound like I'm separating the genders and sexes and whatever, but I think sometimes when women say that, they always say it from like, well, when I hear women say that, they say it from like this personal resentful place.
Okay.
But when a man says it, and I'm not saying men don't say it from a resentful place too, but I am saying that when I've heard men say that to me, it was always from a place to stack your bread, get to know your wife, Man, enjoy your wife. Travel. Get to take.
I mean, okay.
Is you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that, but here's the
That
thing.
don't make it right though.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
But here's the thing. Preparation, when it comes to kids, preparation only goes so far.
That's true. You're really never really ready. You never really. I mean, mental. I mean, emotionally, you're ready.
Exactly.
You know, spiritually, you could be ready. Mentally, you could be ready. But I
Right.
mean, just. I
But
mean,
once that child gets here,
yeah.
even before that, going through the body changes. Like every one thing about pregnancy, every woman's pregnancy is different.
Yeah.
So my body may not react like the last woman or friend of mine, where her body react. Like some friends of mine, they wasn't sick.
Right.
They weren't sick their
Right.
whole
They ain't
pregnancy.
getting no sickness. Right. Right.
My first pregnancy, I
Right.
was sick the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole time.
Was you sick a lot with Zach? I'm sorry.
Now was Zach. Zach was different. That's why I thought it was a girl.
Yeah, we did. Okay, my bad. I threw you off, but no, I was just wondering about that because you was sick a whole lot with Nathan.
I could not eat anything. I was sick the whole time I was pregnant, and then a little bit after I was pregnant too.
So to your point, we were ready, spiritually, mentally, but
Right.
physically we wasn't. I mean, physically we.
But right, that's
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
everybody's is different.
yeah,
So,
that's true.
And your body reacts different. So
Yeah.
although okay, you get in your mind like, oh, I'm ready for this child. I'm ready for this child. I'm ready for this child. You may not be prepared for what your body do.
Right, right.
I
right.
mean, it was
Right.
sometimes my body was doing the weirdest stuff ever,
Right.
and I was like,
Even
oh.
your sleep. I mean,
oh yeah, my sleep.
your appetite.
Oh, I had this.
Oh yeah, you grew up. What you call it in your mouth
Yeah,
too?
it was
Right.
called a pregnancy tumor,
Yeah,
and I had overlapping gum
yeah,
tissue in my mouth.
yeah. I remember that. Oh, you had to go to surgery, right?
Yes, I had to go to the dentist and they had
Right.
to do surgery. But the most weird, uncomfortable part around it was they had like 10 students in there on everybody looking at my mouth like, I've read about this before, but I've never seen it in person. And I'm like, get out my mouth. This is weird.
I forgot about that.
And then before they come in, they gotta get permission.
Right,
So
right.
they're all like, well,
I know you're
the
talking
hair
about.
doctor, the hair doctor come in. He like, well, because this is so rare. I'm like, first of all, he got me nervous.
Right,
He
right.
talking about how rare it is. I'm like, oh God, am I about to die? What's
I remember
going
this.
on?
I remember this. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, he's like, well, because of how rare it is, I want to know if we can have some of our students to come in so they could witness.
Like
I'm
you
like-
a case study.
Like I'm
They probably got your picture at the wall.
you see what I'm saying? Like I might be in a book somewhere.
You probably right on the wall. So what you going there?
You see what
Hey,
I'm saying?
Dr. O. And you look to the right. Case number 95670 is you
Man.
with your mouth wide open.
Wide open. I'm like, look, I know that's my mouth. They're gonna those them feelings.
That's
But
funny.
no, so
Yeah.
they had the students come in, and it was a weird thing for me. So mentally, I was not prepared.
It grew back too, right?
It grew back twice.
Right? Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like you really aren't. You don't. You just because you might be prepared in one area, don't mean you're prepared in other areas.
Exactly.
So like we literally had to like make adjustments
Mm-hmm.
like in our relationship, for Nathan's arrival because
Right.
although we were happy to be parents,
Mm-hmm.
we had to prepare ourselves. So if we were to give y'all some, I don't know, thoughts on this, I would first say that you have to understand that there is a shift that takes place in your relationship when you have children, and that shift isn't bad.
Right.
It's just you got to recognize it's a shift.
You're right.
It's different. Husband and wife team is different when you're parenting and your husband and wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different, and depending on the maturity of the person, you'll either adjust, or this is what I've seen too. You'll either adjust or you'll become selfish.
Right.
And that's something that I think a lot of married couples struggle with, especially young ones or those that are getting married for the first time.
Right.
It's hard for them to adjust because they they feel like they're still owed something.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize that this isn't like individual,
end.
huh?
It's
Right?
not the end.
It's not the end. Right, right. It literally isn't the end, and I think it's how we see the family structure too, and the family and the marriage. It's how we see that stuff that really affects it. I don't know if having to go ahead.
Real fast. But we're not oblivious of like, of course, like some things will change.
Right,
Like-
right.
Like
right.
you said, you may not be able to travel as much.
Right,
or
right.
You may not be able to like go on dates and.
Right, and then you have incidences where we have friends who have had children who have special needs. So it's just
Right.
so all of these dynamics go to play in your marriage and in your relationship, and you just gotta be ready for the shift. You gotta be ready for the shift without the shift changing you.
Yeah.
And I think that is the uncomfortable conversation that we have to have as couples. Yes, there's a shift in our marriage, but the shift doesn't change our intimacy towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does do is it makes us have to develop or discover a new way to express that love or that intimacy that we have for each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta understand that there's a shift, and depending on the maturity level of the person, you're gonna see you're either gonna adjust or you're gonna still remain selfish. And I'll say this too, and then we'll jump into some other stuff. You also gotta know that children require twice as much love and affection and attention than adults do.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a different dynamic. We got a 6-year-old and we got a 1-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
There was a day when the 6-year-old required all of our attention.
Mm-hmm.
When he was 3 and 4 and 2, you know, he was inseparable. Nathan was on our hip.
Unless it came to your dad.
Let's came to my dad.
After that, he was like, "Peace up." It's time.
Right.
I'm out of here.
Now, my father, deuces. This Nathan right here. Nathan see my dad van come up. Dad, where's my suitcase?
Right.
You would think he was a traveling, you know, where's my lotion? Where's my tote? That's Nathan. But now Nathan, 6-year-old Nathan, he don't want to be up under us. But watch this. The moment he detached to kind of be his own boy or whatever, we got a 1-year-old
Who on our hip?
who on our hip.
Or that boy.
So that adjustment is good. You gotta make shifts within your marriage for each child, and but yeah. I definitely think this is something that affects a lot of young couples because there really is no playbook or no rule book for.
Right, and that was
You
my
know.
other point I was gonna get to.
Go ahead.
About how when we was talking earlier about how you may be you could on preparation can only go so far because the thing about kids is I don't care how many books you read, that book was not meant for your child.
Right.
That book was not written for your child.
They didn't write that book thinking about Junebug
It's
or
always
or Jeshion or they weren't thinking about Jakatima. They wasn't thinking about your Jakatima. I know you love little Jakatima, but that book.
I'm so sick of hearing you say this name. It don't make no. Every friend we know that get pregnant, you trying to call that baby Jakatima.
Shout out to our friends. They having a baby girl, Jakatima, coming. She'll be here soon. And then Jeshion, the Tarvis having Jeshion.
His name's Judah. First of all, get his name right. My point is, there is no playbook for Nathan Lewis.
It wasn't. It was no playbook. People walk up to me like, "Hey, you should read this book. It's a parenting book." Oh, okay. I read the book. This ain't got nothing to do with mine.
Nothing.
I mean, this kid just is. I mean, honestly, I think there's over 627 personalities. You know, you can have one of the 600. Society teaches that you can have one of the 627 personalities. So you mean to tell me that there's a book for all 627 personalities in the world? You see what I'm saying? So like that mentality, y'all. You gotta write the playbook as you live it out.
As you go.
So let me go and say it again.
But that's the whole thing
Go ahead.
about marriage from scratch. That's what that's what we're talking about this whole time. Write it as you go.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like playing football. Like
Yeah.
you try something out, it don't right. Take that thing out the playbook.
Yep.
If it worked,
If it
vamp
worked,
it, keep doing it, make it better, and just keep going.
Yep. Don't get mad when you're not where you think you should be because of somebody's Instagram story or Facebook page, or don't do that. You know what I mean? Like you gotta live and write your playbook as you go, because you got a different situation.
Different situation.
You got a different dynamic. Me and Shanae, I was just thinking about this the other day. When I was growing up, when I was Nathan's age, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or whatever, I had two parents, both four grandparents. I could see them all the time. My grandparents on my mother's side were pastors. My grandparents on my father's side, they were blue collar, working people. So I got to see two different dynamics. But looking at my son's dynamic now, his dynamic for grandparents is not our dynamic, and we're gonna talk about that too in the next episode. I think that's in the next episode. We're gonna talk about that, how divorce. Ooh, this is gonna get tough. But anyway, I ain't gonna get ahead of ourselves. But seriously, the dynamic changes. So watch this. You have to, as a parent, sometimes this we gonna open up a can when I say this. Okay. Sometimes because the dynamic changes, the parent has to kind of feel multiple roles. Mm-hmm. Meaning, not just mom and dad. When we were growing up, we had our moms and dad. But I think because the generation is so complex, we're like mom, dad, counselor, friend, coach, teacher, trainer, developer. There's so many different roles now because, in my opinion, how do I say this? The community aspect has decreased when it comes to parenting.
Okay.
The community side of parenting has decreased in the African American context. Mm-hmm. When I say that, I mean this. When I was growing up, all of the mothers and fathers on my block parented the kids. We got yelled at by people that was not our aunts, but now you can't do that. That lack of community is forcing parents to fill all these different roles.
Okay.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? So because of the lack of community, it's straining your marriage. Mm. So you gotta learn, even if there is no village in place when you got married, you gotta learn how to build a village for your kids.
Yeah. And
I think that's what we've done over the last 7 years. And sometimes just trial and error. Mm-hmm. No, they can't be in our village. No. The village is intimate. The village is right up in your face. You got to learn how to build a village where there is no village for your children. So we have successfully built a village for our kids. They know who our friends are. They know who house we're going over. We could pull up in front of somebody's house right now, and Nathan will say, "Oh, we at Uncle Rob's house." Oh, he knows exactly where we're at because we're going to TT Baby house because we've built a village. So that's another point. Parents, married couples, you that got children, if I were to tell you what to do right now, I would tell you to build your village. Mm-hmm. Because your village is going to give you extra security. It's going to help you. It's going to be empowering. It's going to be uplifting. You're going to be able to relax. You're going to be able to find more space, for you and your spouse. So that village piece is important, and it might change. Who's in the village at the beginning may not be in the village as you grow, because again, every dynamic is different. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and that's what tends to happen when you have children. So you got to build that village. I think the next thing, we got like two things, and we're gonna wrap this up. I think the next thing we got to talk about too is when you go from married to parenting, you got to learn the power of management. Mm-hmm. You got to learn the power of management. And when we say the power of management, you got to learn how to manage on a different level now. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the first area where you have to manage is you got to learn how to manage your time now. Mm-hmm. When Nathan was born, because I don't mean to put your business out, but I know you were mad. Yeah. We had a cesarean. So when Nathan was born, Shanae was in a lot of pain. The first one, yeah, our oldest. Shanae was in a lot of pain for like the first maybe 2 months or 3, maybe. Listen. What was it, like 2-3 months?
Yeah, because even they literally when they say like you know how they say like don't have sex for the 6 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
it literally takes the 6 weeks.
Yeah, for cesareans, yeah. For cesarean, like if you haven't had cesarean, then it's different. But for the cesarean, your body, like you, I mean, it's like one of the most severe surgeries that you can ever even go through.
Which side note, I don't understand why people can fix their mouth to say that that's taking the easy way out. I saw a post that said that on Facebook, and
Somebody actually said that.
yes, it was on
Why would they say
Facebook
that?
because they one of those anti C-section groups.
Oh,
So
I got you.
they were saying like if you haven't pushed out your baby vaginally, then you really not a mother. You took the easy way out. I don't understand why they could say that. That pain is sometimes unbearable.
Yeah, it was rough, y'all. I'm serious.
Seriously,
I remember.
it hurt to cough, laugh, pee.
And then you had ran out of pills. Remember that?
Oh man, don't get me started.
She had ran out of pills, and then the lady from Law and Order.
No,
Shanae had. Let me tell the truth.
No.
Don't lie on this podcast.
No, don't you lie.
Shanae broke into Walgreens and was in the. And they put a BP out on a BP gas station. Had a photo.
Anyways, no, I ran out of pills. It was the hydrocodones. I ran out the hydrocodones.
And this is a sensitive topic too because people do get addicted to them.
Right,
so,
it is.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
Thank you. So this may be what they call it, trigger.
Yeah, trigger.
But anyways, I ran out of the hydrocodones and I called the nurse and I was like, because I read the label and it said no refills and I was like, so I think they put the wrong. I was like, they put the wrong thing on this label. This can't be right. And then I called and the lady was like, ma'am, I can't give you anymore. And I was like, but I need them. She was like, how do I know you're not addicted to them? I was like, I'm not addicted to them. I just need, like, I'm in pain. She's like, ma'am, you sound addicted. And I was like, I swear I'm not addicted.
It's not funny.
It's not
funny. But this is how they was talking to Shanae. They was talking to Shanae like...
And I was like, why y'all treat me like I'm a drug addict?
Like, they were talking to you like... I remember because I was sitting on the edge of the bed and you was crying.
I was crying.
And they was like, how do we know you're not addicted right now? But if they would have saw... If there was a camera on you while you was talking... They would have
saw the tears in my face, like...
they would have said, oh, yeah, she's addicted. Because you was like...
And I was in pain.
I know.
I was in so much pain. But, and they was like, well, just take 2 of the ibuprofen. And I'm like...
I remember that. But honestly, like that whole situation, like... So when we had Nathan and you had to go through the cesarean, I did my best to try to stay up all night and get them.
Yeah, you did. I was able to, and then plus because that medicine make you so sleepy.
Right.
I was able to get my rest. So
yeah,
I was up with Nathan at 5 a.m.
Right.
So because Nathan, even in my stomach, he was like round the clock, 5 a.m.
5 a.m., 6 a.m. Yeah.
The boy was up.
Yeah.
So as a baby, when he was waking up at those times, I was able to get him then.
Right.
But when I had to take my medicine at night, you did.
I tried to say, but now was Zach? I'm knocked out with Zach. You hear me? When we brought Zach home, I was calling on cats and dogs. I was nowhere to be found. That don't mean
That's why he got day shift and I got night shift.
But no, seriously, like so managing your time is one of the first things you got to do. Now, I use that story as an example because we had to learn how to manage each other's time. I think the next thing you got to manage is each other's moments. You got to manage the moments that you have in your marriage. Yeah. And you can't look at any moment as insignificant.
Right.
No moment after you have children is insignificant. It can be something as small as, this is what me and Shanae do. We'll go to Freddy's or we'll go to Culver's or we'll go to Oberwise or we'll go to Cold Stone. I don't know if I'm allowed to say these names in our podcast, but
I think it's fine.
But we'll go to these ice cream spots and we'll get ice cream and eat it and sit in the parking lot with the windows down.
Mm-hmm. During the summer.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, but it's that type of moment though. may not mean nothing to.
Right. So what you're saying is don't belittle
Don't belittle
even the
even the
smallest.
smallest
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm
'Cause
saying?
it's as long as you're making the connection. That's the
Right.
whole point. The
Right.
whole point is to make the
Right.
connection that once used to have a lot of time to like actually sit down and
Right.
plan an actual date
Right. Right.
and
Right.
go out to eat.
Right.
But now you got this baby, and some restaurants don't even allow kids at a certain time.
And then depending on also too the situation regarding
Financial.
no, I was going to say where you had the child. Like there are some situations where the mother can develop anxiety if there's separation because you might be in a situation where you're not around anybody you trust. So like you don't have that. You don't always want to put your child off on anybody. Like so me and Chanel, when we had Nathan, we were living by ourselves away from all of our family. We had a few friends where we were at, but for the most part we were by ourselves and we didn't go on a date. You know what I'm saying? I think we didn't go on a date until Nathan turned what, 2?
Yeah.
Maybe 2.5. But it was honestly it was because we were kind of like by ourselves. You know, we were kind of like out of the way. We had nobody that was connected with us.
And even then, I still had a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, it's a I hate to use the word manifestation, but it's a byproduct of the dynamic surrounding the parenting situation or the situation regarding the mother or father.
Yeah.
So you can't predict that.
Right.
So even back to your preparation stage, even if you prepare, you can't predict that stuff. And I think it's a bit arrogant of us and pompous of us, especially as Christians, to look at people who are struggling in the areas of anxiety and separation anxiety and all of these different anxiety issues and say that'll never be me. It's a bit we got to be careful that we don't become superior in our own intellect when we take pride in ourselves to think that we are above certain situations. I mean, we just got to be careful because you don't know the situation that you're coming into. So I think managing every moment is very, very important. And there's no such thing as a big moment, a small moment, a little moment, low moment. All moments are vital. All moments are important in a marriage. So last thing, and then we're going to wrap this up because we've been on here for a while. Last thing, and I know this is going to be controversial, but there is no such thing at what comes first. There is only what comes now.
Yeah.
That's controversial. Let me explain.
Okay.
There is no such thing as what comes first. There is only what comes now. Because what happens in a marriage when you have children, we tend to believe that if you're tending to the child immediately, then the immediate to the other person looks like first.
Right.
But immediate doesn't mean first. Immediate means need.
Yeah.
So there isn't a such thing as first, but there is a such thing as immediate or right now.
Right.
So in a marriage, you got a newborn baby. It is imperative that you tend after every need of that newborn baby. 1, climbing stairs. 2, putting stuff in his mouth. 3, touching sockets. You gotta be how do we look as married couples with kids where we try to massage our spouse's feet and we got a 3-year-old that's going up the steps? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you feel like I'm not putting you first because you don't massage my feet and you go run out to Zach, if I feel like you're not putting me first and because you prioritize Zach over massaging my feet, I'm using it as an example.
No, yeah.
Then
which I wouldn't touch his grass.
Oh, then that means that I have insecurity issues.
Yeah.
I'm immature in my soul because there is no such thing as what comes first. There is only what comes now.
Because I can get him down and then
Exactly. When you know who you are in your marriage, when you know the value that you have in your marriage, you understand. Oh, I'm fine. No, there have been times when we would go out. I don't know if you ever paid attention to this, but we would be around other married couples and their kids, and they'd be like, "Oh, she's not gonna make you a plate." No, I'm fine.
Oh yeah.
Making me a plate doesn't symbolize important. It's just making something like this is the culture thinking. No. Take care of the boys first. I'm first. I know I'm first. There is no such thing as first. There's only what comes now. Right now, we have a 2-year-old that's tearing his thumbs up because he ready to eat.
Because ultimately, if he yelling and he don't get his, ain't nobody gonna have a good dinner.
They're not.
But I think it originated be from like the older people,
Yeah.
like the older generation of feed the husband first, like, and that's fine and that's okay. Like sometimes I'll make your plate first before I make Nathan, but it's who's demanding the most at the moment.
It goes back to what I just said.
So
Right.
if Nathan is still in the room putting on his clothes, and after I've told him twice,
Right.
put your clothes on so you can come eat, you sitting at the table, I'll make yours.
Right.
But if it's vice versa, you feeding Zach and Nathan sit here waiting, I'm gonna make his.
Right.
It's whoever demanding my
Right.
attention at the moment.
But it goes back to what I was saying. So there is no such thing as first.
Right.
The only thing there is what comes now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can adapt it in your mind, you won't feel slighted if she tends to the children before tending to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tend to the kids before I tend to you doesn't mean I don't prioritize you. They
Right.
need me right now.
Right.
So we got to develop the maturity to understand that if I am not tended to in this moment, it doesn't mean I'm not going to be tended to at all.
Right.
When it doesn't happen at all, that's when you got to
That's-
have
I
the
was
conversation.
Just, right. And that's what I was just about to say. If it's just non-existent,
Right.
then that's the problem.
Right.
That's
right,
a problem.
Right.
But another thing, like, and then you could have your alone time, like, when, like,
Right.
oh, like when we out of town or when
Right.
we at a hotel and it's just us, then that's our alone time. Like, of course, sometimes you mention the kids. We would mention the kids out of habit. Like,
Right.
did you
right,
see Nathan when he did this, or did you see Zachariah?
Right. Right.
So that's just out of habit, but
right.
that's the time where we get to have each other's full attention.
Right. Right.
Like we don't even we used to FaceTime Nathan when we were when we
Yeah.
first started, but now we just text. If ain't nobody bleeding,
We good.
dead,
Hey,
or losing an eye,
No,
we just text
seriously.
and keep it pushing.
Listen. So I mean, honestly, that's real. Because a lot of times marriages, we tend to think that, oh, my wife, she love them kids, she don't love me. No, she's tending what needs her attention in the moment. It doesn't mean that she's not there for you. So, yeah, that's. I mean, so you got to learn management. You got to learn how to manage your time, manage your moments. You also got to understand that there's no such thing as first, but there is such thing as what comes now. All right.
And go easy on yourself.
Yeah.
This once again, marriage in life is trial and error.
Yeah.
So if it don't work out the first time, it's all right. Keep going.
Yeah.
Figure something out. Just take your time
Yeah. Don't be
and enjoy it too, cause
right.
they grow up. Like we said, Nathan don't want to have nothing to do.
He don't want to have nothing to do with me. I'll be like,
He'd be
"Hey,
like,
son."
can you move? I need my me time. Which I think he get that from me because I'm always like, oh, I need my time to record. I think we created introvert. I'm not gonna lie.
You created an introvert. I did not create an introvert. I am an extrovert.
I be telling him personal
Personal
space.
Personal space.
Personal space. Stop being in people's face. Or I'll be like, me time. This is my time where I just need to focus on me. And then he'd be like, I need me time.
Anthony be like, y'all coming in here? I'm like, what's wrong? This is my me time. Okay. Get you a spa too while you at it. No, but I hope this episode was good. That's what we got for you all. This is episode 7, and we talked about fast track from marriage to parenting, and this is the Marriage from Scratch podcast, and I am your co-host Lewis Wembley, and I'm joined by my lovely wife
Shanae Wembley.
And I want y'all to do us a favor. If you are on the YouTube and audio platforms, go ahead and follow us. Go ahead and subscribe so you can get notified when a new episode drops. And it's going to be good. We are 2 more episodes away
From ending season
from
one.
ending season 1.
Yep.
And we love doing this podcast. I think this was a
Yeah.
true joy just to hear from people stories and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. So
Oh, and if you finish this episode, go to the last post and say, "We got kids."
we got kids. All right. We got kids. All right. Okay. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Look, stay tuned. We're gonna come back with episode 8.
Yeah, we
We'll
love
drop it.
y'all. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
Peace out.